Hello friends, welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to design a complete IoT-based RFID door lock access control system using ESP32. You'll learn how RFID cards work, how entry and exit are logged, and how we calculate stay time in hours, minutes, and seconds using real data. This project is very useful for schools, offices, and homes. So let's begin. Alright, let's start with the heart of the system, ESP32. It has Wi-Fi plus Bluetooth plus great processing power. Honestly, ESP32 is like the Iron Man of the microcontroller world. Next, we have the RC522 RFID module. This little guy is responsible for reading your access cards. Think of it as your electronic bouncer. It lets only the people you approve. And of course, your RFID cards or key fobs, the VIP passes that decide who gets in. We're also using a 16:2 LCD display for live updates. And for interfacing 16:2 LCD display, we are using an I2C module. A buzzer to alert for wrong cards or approval denied. An active low relay module that locks and unlocks the actual door. And a Veroboard where we're going to mount everything neatly. And of course, 12-volt solenoid door lock module. 3-pin JSTXH wire with socket. Now come to the main part, turning these components into a clean, professional-looking circuit. I'm building this on a Veroboard to make the entire system compact and reliable. We start by placing the ESP32 at the left side. On the right side, I've mounted the RFID module. Make sure the antenna area remains free. Don't place any metal behind it. A blocked antenna means embarrassing, card not detected moments. Next, the relay module goes on the top left because we want the 12-volt wiring safely isolated. I also placed a buzzer at the center so that we can get access denied alert when wrong card is detected. And lastly, I soldered header pins for the LCD module's I2C connection, making it easy to mount or replace later. Make sure to keep your wiring short and clean. Neat wiring doesn't just look great, it helps in debugging, reduces noise, and makes your project feel premium. Now connect the I2C LCD using JXT wire connector. Then time's to set up our main component, that is the solenoid door lock. Connect the red positive wire to the normally open terminal of the relay module. Next, take a separate wire and insert it into the common terminal of the relay module. Now take a wire connector and insert this common terminal wire to any one end of the wire connector. Take the black negative wire from the door lock module and insert it into another terminal of the wire connector. Now we have to connect the 12-volt DC power supply to the wire connector according to the positive and negative wire of the door lock module. While testing the system, I noticed relay is not working, as this is an active low relay module, and ESP32 GPIO pins are providing 3.3 volts, which is also considered as low signal. That is why relay is feeding low signal, which will turn the relay always on. So that I added a BC547 transistor at the GPIO pin and relay input terminal. So that this issue can be overcome easily, you can see the circuit diagram for the full circuit connection. Okay, now let's upload the code of this project to the ESP32 board. The code is paid. So before purchasing, remember it, you need good knowledge in ESP32 and Arduino IDE software, like how to install libraries, how to choose correct port and board for this project, and troubleshooting basic compilation error. No support can be given to hardware troubleshooting. Only I can give you support if the code will not compile. The source code is available to purchase only after proper testing and troubleshooting. First, go to the link mentioned in the description and download the code files. Inside the folder, you'll find an RFID doorlock.ino file. That's your main source code file. Along with it, you'll see a data folder containing index.html, users.html, style.css, logs.json, users.json. These files go into the ESP32's SPIFs memory so it can serve the dashboard properly. Make sure the file names are exactly the same spelling, lowercase, everything must match. If even one file is missing, the dashboard will not load properly. Now comes the fun part. We need a special upload tool inside the Arduino IDE that lets us push this entire data folder straight into the ESP32's SPIFs. If you don't have it already, search for ESP32 Data Upload Tool or ESP32FS Arduino plugin. Once downloaded, unzip it and paste the folder into Documents, Arduino, Tools. Restart your Arduino IDE and boom! You'll now see a magical new menu. Tools, ESP32 Data Upload. Make sure you have to install Arduino version 1.8.19 or earlier. Otherwise, ESP32 Data Upload tool will not be shown under the Tools menu. Alright, make sure your ESP32 is plugged in and the correct board and COM port are selected. Then simply click Tools, ESP32 Data Upload, and now just sit back and relax. The IDE will format spiffs, pack all your web files, and push them one by one into the ESP32. Once you see Upload complete, congratulations. Your ESP32 now has a fully functional website stored inside it. After the data upload, you must upload your main.ano code. This is important. The ESP32 needs both the website files and the Arduino logic to work together. So hit upload once again and let the ESP32 reboot. Also make sure to change the Wi-Fi name and password of yours in the coding section. Once everything is flashed, open the serial monitor to find your ESP32's IP address. Type that IP in your browser, and if everything went right, you'll be greeted with your beautiful dashboard, the logs, the user list, the live WebSocket updates, all served directly from the ESP32. And that's how you upload data files into ESP32. If your dashboard loads correctly, your project is ready for real-world action. In the next part, we'll test the entire RFID system end-to-end, including unlocking the door with just a card swipe. This web dashboard acts as the control and monitoring center for the RFID door lock system. The interface is designed to be simple and readable, allowing real-time monitoring without additional software. The access log table records every valid user interaction with the system. Each row shows the user ID, username, entry date and time, exit date and time, and the total stay duration. When a registered card is scanned for the first time, the system records the entry time. When the same card is scanned again, it is treated as an exit event. The stay time is calculated automatically by comparing the entry and exit timestamps. This calculation is performed by the ESP32 and updated on the dashboard in real time using WebSocket communication. The duration is displayed in a clear hours, minutes, and seconds format, allowing accurate tracking of presence without manual calculation. The dashboard also provides manual control over the door lock. After a valid card scan, the door remains unlocked until a manual lock command is issued. When this button is pressed, the command is sent instantly to the ESP32, and the relay is switched to the locked state using active low logic. This feature is useful in scenarios where the door should remain open temporarily and locked only when required. This completes the dashboard walkthrough, demonstrating how access logs, automatic stay time calculation, and manual door control are handled efficiently through a single web interface. Now I will demonstrate how a new RFID card is registered into the system. Before using the system for access control, each RFID card must be registered in the database. When a new card is tapped on the RFID reader, the ESP32 reads the unique identifier, or UID, from the card. The UID is immediately displayed on the 16x2 LCD. This allows us to visually confirm the card ID without using a serial monitor or any external tool. At this stage, note down the UID exactly as it appears on the display. The stay time is calculated automatically by comparing the entry and exit timestamps. From the top menu, go to the User Management section. Here, enter the recorded UID along with the user's name and any required details. After submitting the form, the user will be successfully saved in the system database. Once registered, Scanning the card again will now be recognized by the system, allowing access and enabling entry and exit logging. This completes the RFID card registration process. Now let's see what happens when a registered user is removed from the system. On the dashboard, all registered users are displayed along with their RFID UIDs. When a user is deleted, the UID is immediately removed from the internal database stored on the ESP32. This means the card is no longer considered valid for access. Now I will scan the same RFID card that was just deleted. The ESP32 reads the UID, but since it no longer exists in the database, the authentication fails. The LCD displays an access denied message, and the buzzer is activated to indicate an invalid card. The relay remains in the lock state, and no entry or exit record is created on the dashboard. This confirms that user deletion is applied in real time, and the system correctly blocks access for removed cards. So that's it for today's video. I hope this helped you understand how an ESP32-based RFID access system with a web dashboard works in real time. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more practical electronics and IoT projects. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.